antique automobile enthusiast, otherwise known as an old car nut.
What do you consider to be the most important automobile ever built, and why?
I would have to say that would be the Model T Ford. Model T Ford was built from 1908 until 1927. There were 15 million Model T Fords built. In 1909, a Model T Ford cost you $850. By 1913, they were down to $550. And by 1919, a Model T Ford only cost $290. This brought the automobile from being a rich man's toy to being something your average man could enjoy.
What car would you consider to be an engineering masterpiece, and why?
I would have to say the Tucker 48. The Tucker 48, built by Preston Tucker in Chicago, Illinois, was an engineering marvel. This car had many safety features that we take for granted today. Things like a shatterproof windshield that would pop out in an accident. It also had a perimeter frame that would protect the occupants in a crash. Another notable feature of the Tucker 48 was the center headlight. This center headlight would turn into the corners to light your way.
What's the single most important determining factor of a vehicle's value?
I would have to say that would be condition. Condition is probably one of the most important features. You can have a great car, rare, but if it's in unrestorable condition and undrivable, then it's not going to be worth a whole lot.
To date, who is the most influential automotive designer, and why?
I would have to say that would be E.T. Bob Gregory of the Ford Motor Company. He was Ford Motor Company's first design chief. He designed cars like the 1933 34 Ford, the 37 Lincoln Zephyr, and also the most beautiful car in the world, the 1941 Lincoln Continental.
When it comes to automobilia and petroliana, name an item in each category that you feel is a solid investment, and why?
I would have to say in automobilia, it would be signs, particularly porcelain signs. The ones with the neon gas tubes would probably be a more attractive value. Also in petroliana, things like gas pumps. The early gas pumps that had a glass tank on top, known as the visible pump, would be a very nice sought-after investment. Also, the lowboy tanks of the 30s and 40s would also be a good value.
What is the single most important factor in determining which venue is best suited to sell a particular vehicle?
I would have to say that you would have to know your market. Find a show that is catering to the type of car that you have and want to sell.
What is your favorite car story you like to share with your peers?
I have a story that I remember from when I was about 6 years old, and I remember it like it was yesterday. My dad and I went to Tallahassee, Florida, for a National Antique Automobile Club of America meet. It had rained torrential rainstorms that week, and everything was bogged down. There was sand and mud, and I watched a Model T Ford depot hack pull a Rolls Royce out of the mud and the sand. It was an amazing sight to watch that scrawny little Model T pull that huge Rolls Royce out of the muck.
Have you engaged in repairing your own vehicles?